What's up, y'all? Episode 9 of the Booty League Podcast, Week 10. As you can see, I am here alone. No one could make it onto the podcast tonight. Jonathan's working. He hasn't been on this podcast for like 3 weeks now, so it feels like I'm the only host here. He's not even a co-host anymore. So we're probably going to do this Alex Jones style, where I just sit here and you guys are stuck with my opinions, thoughts, and conspiracy theories. Basically, this feels weird because I'm just talking about myself. But you guys just have to suck it up. It's probably going to be a short episode, but I'm going to do my best to give you guys the more in-depth analysis or my opinions. You guys can take it with a grain of salt. I don't know shit about football. So diving right in, we have our shot bets this week. A lot of people accruing interest. We have Mike Mo, who is now at 9 shots. His principal was 7. He has accrued 2 shots interest. Jonathan owes 2 shots for his JSN versus his wide receivers. So he's accrued interest there. So it's 3 now. We also have Nick, Nee, and Vin. They are not accruing interest this week because I kind of gave a late notice on their shot bet payout, but that is for James and Vanny's baby gender reveal. Turns out it's a girl, and they voted boys, so they are drinking up a shot there. So it's due next week. If not, then they will accrue interest. Then we got Ryan. What are you doing, man? 1 shot principal, 5 shots on top interest. You're just accruing all this interest, dude. Just suck it up and take your shots. I don't know what you're doing. So yeah, that's what we have today. Basically, we have Timmy submitting shot bet video and Topher submitting one. So we're going to get into that right now. Let me pull that up. All right, we're starting with Topher's. Let's go. Patron, new bottle. I don't know how I feel about these non-measured pours, guys. Like, get a shot cup. We're all like at 30. Oh, nice shot. Nice grimace there. Yeah, dude, what's with these like non-measured pours? I feel like this is a foul here. I don't know. I'll put it in the chat. You guys let me know what you think, but I'm not a fan of these free-handed pours because we have no way of telling. But yeah, like everyone has to do the measured pours. If we remember back to my shot when I drank like 9 shots in a video, I poured every single one of those. So yeah, come on, get some shot cups. Like, do I need to buy you guys some shot cups for Christmas so each one of you has something to measure it with? Yeah. So let's move on to Timmy's video. Starting it. Okay, let's see this. Again with the soju, bro. Again. Can I get the counsel on this? He's drinking soju. I don't care how much he's pouring it. Okay, that's a pretty fat glass. I don't know if that's 5 shots. And it's soju, bro. That's a pretty fat glass. But it's soju.
All right, cheers.
Ooh. Taking a break. Contemplating life. Let's go, Timmy. Let's go. Good job. Yeah, I know we've been drinking on this pod in this league for a while, but I don't know what's up with some of these non-measured pours and the soju. I think we're gonna have a league discussion about this because it's a little unregulated now. I don't know if I have the authority to make the rules. I'll have to ask James about that, but I don't know. Thank you for sending the videos in, though. I appreciate it. Man, I feel super awkward doing this by myself. This is so weird. All right, moving on to the waiver wires this week. Pretty quiet week. We had James picking up JJ McCarthy for 24 fab, a total of 2 bids. Next highest bidder was Jonathan with 0. So massive overpay there, but you get your guy. Let me see if James is even starting him this week. Let's see here. He's not even starting him. Is this for the bye? Is Caleb on a bye soon? No, he's over his bye. I don't know why you're picking up JJ McCarthy for that much. But okay, get your guy. Next bid was Vin picking up Bills defense for 17 fab, total of 3 bids. Next highest bid was Jonathan with 8 fab. Then we have Chris picking up Amara DiMercado. Yeah, Amara DiMercado for a 16 fab, total of 2 bids. Mike Mo, the next highest with 7. And then last big pickup was Michael picking up Luke Musgrave for 13 fab, beating out Ryan by 1 fab. So good pickup there. He's playing him this week, so we'll see how he does. But overall, a pretty slow week on the waiver wires this week. Looks like everything's slowing down. The waiver is pretty bone dry right now. Everyone's trying to get their guy for injury replacements and bye weeks, but it's looking pretty tough out there, so it's expected to not have that many pickups. Moving on, we're just breezing through these. No trades this week, no game this week either, because again, I'm by myself, unless you want me to play a game by myself. Moving on, let's do week 9 recap. This past week, we had Mike Mo versus Topher. Topher won that one. Actually, let me give more of an in-depth analysis on last week's matchup since we have the time. It's just me. All right, yeah, we had Mike Mo versus Topher. Topher won that pretty handedly. Hey, me and Mike Mo, we basically scored the same, 50 and 61. Good job. Hey, holding hands over here. Yeah, Topher beat Mike Mo by 40 points, not even close there. Next, we had Nick versus Timmy. Nick won that pretty handedly again. Timmy scored 118. It's pretty good, but we're keeping it going with everyone having their career weeks against Timmy's team. Nick scoring 141, second highest of the week there. Good shit. Next up, we had James versus Chris. Chris winning by 1.5 points. Wow. Very close game there. Matchup of the week there. Then we had the Brother Bowl, the Vin Brother Bowl, Vin versus Knee. Knee winning that pretty handedly by 40 points. Then we had Ryan versus David. And Ryan, I had so much hope in you. You were supposed to win this week. You were in the league. Now you're 5-4. You lost to David, giving him a second win of the season. So, what the hell, dude? He won by like 60 points. Damn. So, yeah, that makes David's only 2 wins on the season on the Royce and Ryan duo. So, that has something for him. And then lastly, we had me versus Jonathan. That one wasn't even close. I scored 50 points. This shit was over by like the morning. Let me shit on myself for a minute here. Not a single one of my players scored double digits. My highest score was Jordan Love with 9.02. My second highest score was my kicker at 9 points. So, yeah, dude, my team's sorry as fuck. I had a goose egg in there. My team's going through it. Like, honestly, like, how the hell did I let, like, Devin Singletary be, like, one of my top scorers? He wasn't even supposed to score that much. But, yeah, my team's sorry as fuck. Jonathan, you own this, you know. I'm all yours now. You own this booty. So do whatever you want with it. I got my ass handed to me. Second time scoring around 50 points this season. So yeah, pretty rough. We'll get into the predictions, the tally. I got 3 out of 6 correct this week, bringing my total up to 27 for 48, 56%, still hovering there right above half. Jonathan hasn't been on this podcast for a while. He's only at 30 guesses, sitting 19 for 30, 63%. And then we have our guests leading the way, 20 for 30. James got 4 for 6 right last week. So guests is hanging in there at 66.7%. So we are being outperformed by our guests right now, which shows us that me and Jonathan don't know shit about fantasy football. So I don't even know why we're doing this podcast. um, Overall, I think after last week's matchups, the rankings are still looking pretty tight right now. It's a party. Like Chris said, second to 11th place is a party. First place, Topher is running away with it, and we'll see if David's win streak starts now. Starts from yesterday or last week. Sitting at 2-7, he's got to win like every single game. I feel like to get into the playoffs. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty nervous. I'm at 4-5, with like the lowest points for by a mile. So I got to get some wins out there, or otherwise I'm destined to miss the playoffs. Moving on. We're going to go into our Week 10 predictions. Let me go through this. First, we have Ryan versus Topher. I'll start us off. Oh, well, obviously, shit. What the fuck am I doing? All right. At quarterback, I'm taking Ryan. Lamar Jackson coming back, doing better against Josh Allen. I'm a big Lamar fan. So I think he'll have the better week. Running back, I'm taking Ryan with Breece Hall and Jahmyr Gibbs over Josh Jacobs and Zach Charbonnet. Although that's pretty close, I'm gonna lean Ryan because Breece Hall looks like he's finally like popping off, being a full load guy. The Jets are pretty desperate, so I feel like Breece Hall's gonna have a good week. Wide receiver, I'm taking Ryan with JSN, Zay Flowers over Amon-Ra and Ted McMillan. Tight end, I'm taking Topher, George Kittle over Sam Laporta. And at the flex, I'm taking Ryan with AJ Brown over Romeo Dobbs. Although I will say it's not, they're not that far apart. AJ Brown kind of stinks, so I wouldn't be surprised if Romeo Dobbs outscores him. But for right now, just based off of name and everything and opportunity, I'm taking AJ Brown at the flex. Defense and kickers, I think Topher's Seattle defense might go off this weekend against Kyler Murray, or Kyler Murray being out on the Cardinals. So that might be an X factor there for Topher, kind of bringing it closer. But overall, I think Ryan's team's looking really good. We're in week 10 of the season. Topher's dealing with some depth issues with the bye weeks for some of his players, and Ryan's team looks like it's at full strength. So I'm thinking Ryan bounces back this week and beats Topher, giving him his second loss of the season. Also, another Nguyen brother duo there. Both of us giving David his only wins and Topher his only losses. So I'm rooting for Ryan this week. I think he got it against Topher. Next matchup, we have Vin versus Timmy. At quarterback, I'm taking Timmy, Justin Herbert over Matt Stafford. Running back, I'm taking Timmy, Devon Achane, and JT over DeAndre Swift and Travis Etienne. That's a pretty easy one. Wide receiver, I'm taking Vin, DK Metcalf, and Cortland Sutton over Marvin Harrison Jr., and I'm going to put Devontae Smith at the wide receiver 2. Tight end, I'm taking Vin. I'm taking Timmy. Oh, wait, no. Shit, I got it mixed up. Let's see. Let me go back on this. It's Kincaid versus Warren, right? I'm taking Vin. Warren over Kincaid. At flex, I'm taking Timmy, QJski over Tez Johnson. Defense and kickers, I think Vin did a good job picking up Buffalo defense going against the Dolphins' shitty-ass offense. So I think Buffalo D can make a difference here. But overall, I think Vin's team, was dealt a big blow with this Jaden Daniels injury. He was waiting for him to come back all season, and then he freaking dislocates his elbow. So he'll be out for a while, if not the season. So I think Vin's team is hurting on that. He has 3 quarterbacks rostered right now. Jamar being out on bye doesn't help him. It might be, the oomph he needs to beat Timmy this week. But yeah, without Jamar, I think I'm gonna give this one to Timmy. You know, he has his H-Hand JT stack going up against you know, Vin's running backs, and then at wide receiver, you know, I'm giving Vin the edge, but I think Timmy's wide receiver core is pretty close to Vin's. So ultimately, I think Timmy takes this. Um, Moving on, we have James versus Yee. At quarterback, I'm taking James Caleb Williams over Jordan Love. At running back, I'm taking Yee, Rico Dowdle, and Derrick Henry over Bijan and Jordan Mason. Wide receiver, I'm taking Yee, Olave, and Puka Nakua over Debo and Jameson Williams. At tight end, I'm taking James. I think Trey McBride is easily better than Kyle Pitts. And then at flex, I'm taking Yee with Stephon Diggs over Darnell Mooney. Interesting thing I wanted to focus on for this matchup. Both teams do not have a kicker rostered. So is there a gentleman's agreement that I need to be made aware of? Because it looks like you guys are both going into the week with no kickers, and that's fine because who needs them? So yeah, overall, I think Nee's team's been floating pretty good after being dealt some injuries. And then, you know, some of his picks, like, you know, Olave and Dowdle have pulled through for him. And James not having a solid running back too, playing Jordan Mason, you know, might hurt him this matchup. So overall, I'm going Yee for this week over James. Moving on, we have Jonathan versus David. Quarterback, I'm taking David on this one. Sam Darnold's on a heater, feeding JSN. I have him over Bo Nix. Running back, I have Jonathan, you know, his Ashton Genty and Kyron Williams stack easily over David's Warren and Monangai stack, whatever you call that. Wide receiver, I'm taking David, Jalen Waddle over Devontae. Jonathan's playing Garrett Wilson and Alec Pierce. So I think David has that pretty easily. At tight end, I'm taking David, Colston Loveland over Jawan Johnson. And at flex, I'm taking Jonathan, Quichan Judkins over Khalil Shakir. Overall, I think it's pretty interesting that David is benching Kenneth Walker. I know he's probably going for a high ceiling play, but honestly, he might have a better chance playing the floor game against Jonathan because Jonathan has no wide receivers. Or, I mean, Garrett Wilson's coming back from injury. Alec Pierce is a boom bust, basically. David has all the weapons to beat Jonathan's team because if Jonathan, you know, hits his floor, which can be pretty low, David can easily win it. So, me personally, I would play Kenneth Walker over Khalil Shakir, but I guess we'll see. Maybe he'll change it Sunday. But overall, I'm taking David over Jonathan on this one, even though Jonathan's running backs are nasty. He's back at full strength there. I mean, I know, like, not having good wide receivers or like a star wide receiver is gonna bite you in the ass. So Jonathan's kind of in the same boat as me. So it's pretty tough getting a W with no wide receivers because once your running backs stink it up, you're kind of screwed. So David, I'm rooting for you. Next matchup, we have Chris and Mike Mo. Starting off at quarterback, I'm going to take Chris, Jackson Dart over Daniel Jones. Running back, I'm going to take Chris, David Montgomery, and Amari DeMercado over James Cook and Chris Rodriguez. Like, what the fuck? Just leave your running back twos empty, dude. Wide receiver, I'm taking Chris, Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins over Lad McConkey and Emeka Egbuka. Although I'm gonna say that one's pretty close, it's pretty spicy, but I'm gonna give the edge to Chris. At tight end, I'm gonna take Chris, his newly acquired Brock Bowers over Michael's Luke Musgrave. At flex, I'm gonna take Chris with Troy Franklin over Jordan Addison. Some things I noticed is both teams kind of struggling in the running back department. I feel like a lot of teams are. I think we have like 3 teams that are really stacked at running back, and then everyone else is just struggling for a running back too. But yeah, Michael's team is very solid at wide receiver. I'm surprised he hasn't done any trades yet, flipping some of his receivers for a running back, or maybe he's just waiting for like Trey Benson to come back or something. But yeah, Michael seems solid at wide receiver, but he's got some crazy running back troubles if he's playing Chris Rodriguez as his running back too. And for that reason, I'm gonna pick Chris just because he has the better floor with some of his players. Um, yeah, Michael, bang my line for a trade if you need a running back because I need wide receivers. Um, and our last matchup is me versus Nick. I'm gonna try to be very impartial to this because I'm the only one on this podcast right now. I'm just gonna do this from a try to be an unbiased perspective. Um, Quarterbacks, I'm gonna take me, Jalen Hurts over Drake May. Running backs, I might say push here or going more Nick's way. I wouldn't be surprised who wins because it's Saquon and Rashad White over CMC and J.K. Dobbins. I actually have no idea. Dobbins plays tonight, I think, but I haven't checked. But yeah, I feel like CMC by himself is like could put up like 30 points. So I might actually lean Nick on that one. Wide receiver easily. Nick's got this one. Drake London and DJ Moore over Wandale and Kendrick Bourne. I've been playing Kendrick Bourne for like 4 weeks now because Ricky Pearsall. Like, if you want to laugh, just go on Ricky Pearsall's player bio and then look at all the updates and then read the comments because Ricky Pearsall is a questionable merchant because every week it's questionable, but this dude hasn't practiced for like a month or 2 months or something. But he always has a questionable tag instead of out or IR. They could have put him on IR, would have given people more flexibility, but he's questionable every week and then he's straight up out. So I've been dealing with that, so I have to play Kendrick Bourne. I have no one else to play. So yeah, pretty dog shit right now. Tight end, I'm going Nick Gadsden over Hunter Henry. Although, I mean, if Hunter Henry gets a touchdown, it might be a push. But Gadsden is becoming kind of a mainstay in this Chargers offense, especially for Justin Herbert. So it's kind of hard to go against that. And at flex, I'm going to take myself just because Nick has Rashid Shaheed starting in his flex, who, as you may know, was recently traded to Seattle, where literally they only have one wide receiver and it's JSN. So Shaheed kind of got a demotion a little bit. So I'm not sure how he's going to do in that. He might even goose egg. So Nick having him in the flex might give me a little window of opportunity there. I'm starting Kamani Vidal, so I'm taking Vidal over Shaheed. Yeah, solid floor play. Shaheed's floor for next week this week is genuinely 0. So I don't know if he's going for a ceiling play, but some general thoughts is I would play Tyrone Tracy or Tyrone Tracy since I'm playing since I have Devin Singletary in my hedge. Oh wait, no, I'm not starting Singletary, but Tyrone Tracy or even Bill at the flex just for the floor play because my team's floor, as you may know, is hella low and Nick doesn't really need the ceiling plays against me. So honestly, I would start a running back in the flex if I were Nick. But if you want to start Rashid Shaheed in the flex, be my guest. But if I win because Shaheed's in, just go back to this podcast because I told you so. But yeah, that wraps up our week 10 predictions. I don't even know how much time's passed. We kind of breezed through all of this. Thank you for bearing with me. Hopefully I don't drop another 50 points next week. Good luck to everyone out there this week. And hopefully by next week we can have a guest or Jonathan comes back. I don't know. Jonathan's supposed to move in by now. He's not moved in yet. I don't know where he is. So hopefully starting next week he'll be more of a mainstay here because he'll be living here. With that, I hope you guys have a great week. Good luck on your matchups. See you later.